And whenever you're ready, Jo,
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, for wherever you are in the world. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Sacred Use Wisdom Circle segment. And today we're talking about returning to self and reclaiming your inner wisdom. And it's such a beautiful topic because I feel like we're always returning to self. And these beautiful ladies with me today have we've just been having the conversation about returning home after, this era of being a grandma and all the things and the responsibilities on top of all the other things that we have in our life, like business owners. And all of us here today, which is beautiful, are in the same situation. We're all grandmas, and we wouldn't have it any other way because we do love it. So I'm your host today, Jo Anne Irwin, and I would love to go around the room and introduce all of our other hosts so you know exactly who is on the wisdom circle today. So whoever, Tawana, would you like to start?
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. I am Tywanah Evette, also known by my native name, Thunderbird Rising. I am a high priestess, a shaman, a spiritual guide, a grandmother. Um, and I am so excited to be part of this wisdom circle. So thank you.
Thank you, Tawana. And Rolly, please.
So Gigudu Migunque is my spirit name, which means talking feather woman. And I am here in Northeastern Ontario, Canada, in a small community, which it is raining now, which we are thankful for, because our neighboring community has a forest fire that they needed to clean up. And so this will definitely help. And yeah, I too am a grandmother. And I enjoy every moment of it. My grandchildren call me Nookum, which means my grandmother. And so yeah, so I love every second of that. I host different programs or services that help women with anxiety. Using moon medicine, which has its following the lunar cycles as well as holistic, other holistic practices.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Rolly. And I just love the different cultures and names that you identify as really resonate deeply. And I'm sure they do for a lot of people as well. Sophia, we have Sophia joining us today. We're so privileged. She's usually running the behind the scenes. Would you love to introduce yourself?
thank you. And this time I'm running behind the scenes, in the scenes, I think, on the scenes, just finishing up doing all the techie stuff. So, yes, so I'm Sophia. So I have the honor. And actually, I have to say the privilege of being the co-creator of Sacred You, because I get to meet and connect with all these fabulous women from all over the world that you would never do in, like, I'm not going to say real life, but in practical life if we weren't online. So yes, I'm here because I love the conversation about returning to the self, especially for me. I've spent a lot of time being external, like not connecting to the self, which we can go in later into the conversation. So thank you.
Yes.
But I am doing a little bit of techie stuff.
Yes, I love that. We're looking forward to hearing your perspective and experiences today. But before we start, I'd love to, us to, because the world does pull us in so many directions, with all our roles and responsibilities and expectations. This is for anyone watching, it's your time to pause, to breathe, and to come home to yourself, home to your truth, home to your intuition, and home to part of us that already knows, that already is inside of us. So why don't we take a big pause and a big breath together? Uh, so let's begin by just taking one big breath to bring us into the space, and maybe two or three deep big breaths. Breathing in peace, exhaling everything that doesn't serve you right here, right now. Let's go again. Inhaling presence, exhaling tension. And one more. Inhaling connection and exhaling anything that feels heavy for you. Just allowing yourself to arrive fully with our body, our mind, our spirit, our soul, all that we are, before we dive into this wonderful conversation about returning to self. So, my lovelies, I just love that we can open up and just let the conversation flow as it is. We never know where it's going to go. And I know that you all have your own stories, backgrounds, wisdom, and experiences to share today. So why don't we open up with maybe some questions around what has been, for me lately, it's been stripping away what does not serve. Stripping. It's been full on, and I'm not sure whether it's been, well, I'm pretty sure it's something to do with the moon, right, Rolly? The cycles, all of that. And I had a lot of reflection over the weekend. I think the full moon is actually today. Am I right? Yes. In Scorpio. Nice.
Aries.
Aries. Okay.
Fiery,
Thank you.
fiery Aries.
Wow. That makes so much sense now. And I also read somewhere about the south node, Venus being in the south node. Does anyone know anything about that? Because I think for me, it's really important to know what's happening in the energy and the forces behind that. I don't know about anyone else, but I find it very fascinating. And whenever I'm having a moment or having an experience, I always go to the astrology, but not just any astrology, but like all parts of it. So, Rolly, did you want to share some of your knowledge around that, please?
Well, and I haven't really paid attention to where the South Node is, just because I have been in a building stage. So you're tearing down, cleaning up, removing things that no longer serve you. And I am just kind of building things. So we've been building the kitchen. I've been building my programming for next year. So I've been a little bit not completely in tune. But if Venus is in the South Node, so the Venus is all about that love and that compassion and that connection. And so then kind of tying into what it is that you're saying about what it is that you're releasing and what you're letting go still ties into that still really, really well. And even with me building things and kind of building up where it is that I need to go and what it is that I need to do, that Venus energy is still bringing in that love because I get to cook in the kitchen with the kids. I get to, and my two grandbabies, and I get to, and my youngest grandbaby is going to get to start eating soon. So like having the kitchen ready is really exciting, because then I get to be part of that first part of things, and help cook for her and that kind of fun things. And then that love, carrying into that love with into the energy of building up my program. So I revamped my program last year, and so this year is kind of fine tuning what didn't really work, what's working really well, and kind of like building that in. And so so it fits and ties in really well if that's what it is that's happening.
Yeah.
But Venus energy is definitely something that is all about that type of energy. So that's beautiful.
And that authenticity. But I just remembered there was a part of that it was meeting in Virgo, and it's been 18 years since that's happened. And that Virgo energy.
Yep. So then, and Virgo is about getting all of our things settled and getting all of our things figured out. And because Virgo is that structure. And so like, yes, that's very beautiful. And like I said, I've been a bit out of tune. I've only been doing what it is that I've had to do. So yeah, that's beautiful.
It is beautiful, isn't it? And I feel like, because that Virgo energy can be very, know what it wants. Yeah. And that's where I felt I was at. On top of that, I don't know about anyone else, but I had a lot of rage come up over the weekend. And with the rage, because I realized I've been carrying a lot of sadness, which has sort of been going under the radar because we're always, having to show up, right? And I allowed myself to go into that. And with that came a lot of tears, which I haven't done for so long. So maybe that's the Aries energy as well.
No, that would have been the Pisces energy that we just came out of.
Okay.
So we just came out of, so as we moved into Aries, we
Yeah.
just come out of that Pisces energy. And that's one of the things that there's been lots of emotions and lots of, and again, because I haven't been like tuning in every single day like I normally would do. My daughter-in-law was like very emotional and like really struggling with the emotions. And it was like, oh, that's what's going on. So when I did my moon medicine circle on Friday, it was like, oh, that's what's happening with my daughter-in-law. So then she and I had a conversation. So she's like, okay, I'm not insane.
No.
Right? So, but yeah, so like that, it would have been that Pisces energy leading into. So now you get to burn all that stuff away. So the things that you've been doing. So with Aries, you'll be able to burn it.
Yes. Oh, that makes so much sense now. And it's so important to understand this, isn't it? Because we feel like we're going insane in that moment when things are coming up and we're moving through it, saying, this is not who I am. Like, what is going on with me? We question it. Yes, Joanna's nodding her head there. Did you want to pipe in with anything there?
It does make you feel like you're going insane sometimes because in my opinion, this is what we should have been taught in school. Like, these are the things that we needed to know, things that affect our bodies, our minds, our lives as a whole. Not, who was Abraham Lincoln and things like that. So yeah, it's funny because I do the same thing. I'll like rage out and then I'm like, wait a minute, where are the planets? Where's the moon? What's going on? What does my calendar say I'm supposed to be doing? Oh, I'm supposed to be resting. That's why nothing's working right. So yeah, that's why I laughed because it is following for the divine feminine, especially following astrology is so important. Our bodies are so connected to the planets. So it kind of it gives us a little glimpse of who we are and the why and the how. And so yeah, anytime I rage out, I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Where are the planets? This time I prepared myself. I knew what was coming. So in our circle yesterday, we burned, those things that we burned away the things that we do not want in our lives anymore. And then we burned those things that we're calling into our lives and put the ashes on our bodies. So
Wow.
it was quite a special circle that we had yesterday.
Beautiful. That sounds amazing. The perfect time for it. So a couple of key notes there is be prepared, know what's coming. Like that's important, right? To know, well, what's happening. Because I find that, before I knew all this stuff from way back, I would act out. And it wouldn't be pretty. And then I would go into shame and guilt. And yeah, that's really that. And then we carry more. We're just stacking all these emotions on top. So the other key thing is it's okay to rage out. It's okay if you understand it, then it's even better because you go, oh yes, I'm getting it out of me. I'm not going to hold it anymore, right? You're just like, let's get this.
You're doing it the right way.
You're doing it the right way. 100%, 100%. And that's beautiful. So what better time, ladies, if you're watching, to burn what doesn't serve you anymore, strip it away and really get into your body and call in what does. What do you want? We don't ask that question. What do I really want? And that's been huge for me over the weekend. So thank you for sharing. Sophie, have you got anything to add to that? Have you been?
First, I've been good, Jo, thank you. And can I just first of all honour you
Me.
for
Thank you.
to honour you and for being open and honest like that, because so much, and I'm speaking from me especially, but I know others too, we live in this world where we think we have to put masks on.
Mm.
You know, we think we have to, especially if you're in a field or a level of, being like yourself, you're a coach or, anything like that, any type of leadership as such. You think you have to put this mask on and have a mask of having it all together. I've solved it, I think I'm fine. But then we get to a stage like you, and we're actually talking about this in another wisdom circle just recently about, allowing ourselves to take those masks off. And it actually gives permission for other women, other people to also take their masks off and be real and be vulnerable and be open. And if that means raging like anything or having, waterfalls of tears, whatever, then that's okay. So thank you.
It is okay.
It is okay.
Thank you, Jo.
And that is like, it's all part of returning to the self, because for me personally, now I spend so much time on technology that that's what I get pulled by. We're talking about that in a world that pulls us in thousands of directions. Well, I'm pulled into the doing. And in part of that, if you're not careful, the doingness puts the masks on or suppresses the beingness.
100%.
And when you get off the doing and allow yourself to be, and as you said, to go into those emotions, whatever it is, could be very, high emotions. You're feeling absolute joy and happiness and you're really experiencing that. Or you could go right to the opposite and, sadness and anger and stuff, but really going into it and letting it out, getting rid of it.
Yeah. Beautifully said. Beautifully said. Releasing it, because I feel like coming home to yourself for me is actually allowing myself to do that, so I can go deeper into who I really am and release all that old stuff that I've been carrying. And a lot of it is I've noticed it's been ancestral. And what triggered it, I may share, if I may share, what triggered it was the state of the world, human beings. It really was like, it's like this stabbing in the heart. What are we doing? What are people doing on the planet? And I know I'm one person that cannot save the world, but it was so deeply felt. Even though I don't watch the news, I shelter myself. Again, I don't put my head in the sand because we can feel it, right? We can all feel it. And that was like the catalyst that went, okay, let's go deep. And it just happened. And it was beautiful timing. So allow yourselves, ladies, allow yourselves. So I feel like there's some questions that we could ask, but also we could continue on this trajectory of the planets. But maybe for the audience, I ask the questions so that they can get a deeper understanding. And in what we just talked about, what does returning to self mean for you right now? Could be a good segue in. And the last time maybe that you felt deeply connected to yourself. Who would like to jump in there?
I know for me. I'm sorry, darling. Go ahead.
No,
go
you
ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I know for me personally, I've never been myself. So this is a remembering of self. Um, I was abused since I was 2 years old. So I'm enjoying every layer that unfolds, aside from the rage outs and the cry, the crying for no reason and all of that stuff. But I am genuinely enjoying each layer that is unfolding of myself because I get to see me. And it's been, when I look over the last 4 years of my life, since I'm very open, I share that I did it was a serious attempt. I wanted out of this life. Um, since then, I look back at my journey and I'm just like, damn, you did it. You did it. Look at you. And as each layer unfolds, and with my recent upgrade as a high priestess and a shaman, as frightening and terrifying as that is, I'm just like, oh my God, this is who I am. I'm returning to who I was born, what my soul contract says I was born to be and do. And it's so exciting for me to see each layer unfold. It's not fun, the releasing part, but once I know the why behind whatever happened, whatever triggered something, I'm like, oh, that's okay. Now we can keep going. There's a deeper layer of myself that I'm getting to know. And it's almost like I'm getting to know a best friend, because I never knew me. I wore so many masks for everyone. I wore a different mask, but underneath those masks, I was screaming for someone to just see me. And I couldn't find that. No one saw me. And well, I can't say no one saw me. When I had the conversation, when my daughter and I first reconciled, my middle child, she says, Mom, all I've ever wanted for you was you to love you for the beautiful being you are.
Wow.
So she saw me. That daughter sees me. And she saw who I was. And it was, disappointing and hurtful to her that I couldn't see me.
Yeah.
So it's been a journey. It's had its ups and its downs, and there were a lot of nights sitting in the tub, crying. I probably cried tubs full of tears. But returning to me, oh my goodness, this is wonderful. This is it's wonderful. It's exhilarating. It's like running in the ocean naked. I don't know. I don't know what that feels like, but that's what I imagine. Okay, well, then you understand what I'm saying. It just feels so free.
Yeah.
It just feels so free when you can be you. And not only that, if I may make another point, when you have people around you who love you for you,
Mm.
and not for what you can do, and not for the mask that you wear for them.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
Beautiful. I feel it. I feel it. And it's such brave work, right? Like it, and all the tears and all the turmoil and all the stuff. And when you talk about the why you had to experience that to get to where you are now is such brave work, and not for everybody, I must say. Like most people get pulled into the fear of what the unknown may look like. But You're brave, we're brave. We do the work. We uncover and discover what's the next layer. And it's never ending, right? Never ending. Thank you, Tywanah. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Rolly.
Thank you so much, Tywanah, for sharing that, because so many of us have been to that line or been to that light, and maybe for people that are listening right now, be in that space right now. And so just thank you for sharing, because I think that that is so important, because your words may be that hope that somebody is able to hang on to, so that they can actually take that next step and take things to that next level. And one of the things that you had shared is that near the beginning was that you had shared like that crying for no reason. I just really want to there is a reason. There is a reason for those tears, whether it is anger or hurt or sadness or laughter or whatever it is, that there is a reason for those tears. And the reason why I bring that up is because I was raised in a world of stop crying or I'll give you something to cry about energy, right? So whenever anybody says like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm crying, and it's like, that's okay, allow it to happen, allow those emotions to be able to come forward, and allow yourself to be in that space, because that's where you need to be in this moment. And so when I'm hosting an in-person circle, one of the things, so we're getting ready for our retreat in the next couple weeks. And so one of the things that I always start off with when we set the guidelines of the rules of what people need to do is that I always remind people that if the person beside you is crying, allow them to cry and allow them to take whatever like whatever energy that they need to release. And if it's a friend of yours, give them some space. They know where the Kleenex is. I always make sure that there's Kleenex available on different sides of the room, so everybody knows where the Kleenex is. And if they need to, because one of the things that we tend to do is that when somebody hands us a Kleenex or somebody comes and puts their hand on our shoulder, we then shut back down again. And so I am very, very firm. Like I'm like hugely firm, and it makes it really hard when I've got people that are empathetic, that like really want to be able to nurture those people. And it's like, no, we need to allow them to cry. We need to allow them to stop, and we just hold space. We just hold space until they're done. We don't move on to somebody else while they're crying. We just hold that space and hold that container for them. And so I just wanted to be able to acknowledge that when we're not crying for nothing. And so it's really important for us to remember that and acknowledge that. And so kind of tying into a little bit of what Jo was saying about like tuning into our to the world events that are actually going on around us. And so last week was not even last week, it's just been the last few days, is that they were actually searching for someone. They were on a manhunt to try and find somebody who was threatening other people. And so they finally were able to apprehend him yesterday, got him to the hospital with minimal injuries or wounds to the people around. But it also started, one of the things that happened is that it also started a forest fire. And like I said, when we first started, having the rain right now is very important. So like it's that energy of like, even though we don't want to get wrapped up in what it is that's going on in the world, sometimes we need to know what's happening in the world. We had people that were on shelter in place, and we had people that and then there was a forest fire. So like they were waiting to people were sitting on pins and needles as to whether or not, and it's like literally a 20-minute drive from where we are. So like it's not that far. And so because I, like you, Jo, I don't watch the news. So unless there's something specific that I need to pay attention to, I try and stay away from social media. A lot of times people message me on social media, and it's only like once or twice a day that I actually respond back on social media, because I really, during COVID, that was one of the things, is that my anxiety, like I had manageable anxiety, like my anxiety was managed. I was doing really well with my anxiety. But during that COVID time, like it was just all all this anxiety around everything that was going on, and I needed to shut it down. I needed to shut down and like not listen to all the things that were going on because there was so much controversy over it. And it was like, I need to just stop and not pay attention to all the things that are actually going on and focus on what it is that's going on here, doing what it is that I need to do to take care of me. And that was my part of me coming to self. That is when I jumped back online and started offering more services and things online, as did everyone else. And so it's just that matter of like just being able to come back into that. And so a few years ago, and I probably would not be okay with what it is that's happening this coming weekend. So we are preparing for I am preparing to go away. And but the invitation was extended to my children. It's Thanksgiving weekend for us, so it's a long weekend for us. And in Canada, we're going to where I host my retreats, which is completely off the grid. It's solar powered, it's propane heat, it's propane stove and fridge, and you heat by the wood stove, and like it is just so peaceful. And we're completely in the chalet that we use. We're completely surrounded by trees and nature, and like even compared to like, even though it's not that far away to the next cabin, or we're in our own little secluded area. And so it's absolutely empowering and connected. And I was really excited to share this with my family. And I don't know who's coming. I don't know if anybody's coming. And a few years ago, I would have just said, forget it. I'm just going to cancel. I'm not going to go. I'm only going to go for my retreat. I'll pay the cancellation fee that's going to be that I'll have to cover. And it's like, I'm going anyway. I'm going anyway, and I am going to be there with or without my family. I hope with my family, but if nobody shows, then my dog and I will have an enjoyable time. My husband will come when he's done work, so he will be coming out on Saturday evening at some point, or possibly early Sunday morning, depending on how late that he is on Saturday. But it's like, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I'm going to go, and I'm going to do what it is that I need to do. The whole point was to be able to disconnect and to like just really tune into nature. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous out there because it is fall for us. So like it's lots of changing colors, listening to the animals out there that are actually nestling and getting ready for winter as well. And just being able to tune into that. And so that again is that coming home to self, of whereas I would have just my Aries self, because I'm an Aries sun, I would have just said, oh, screw it, I'm just gonna cancel it, I'm not gonna go, just forget it, like sorry that I like disturbed everybody. And it's like, nope, I'm going, and I'm going to enjoy it. And if you guys don't come, then so be it. It's your loss, not mine. I get to still tune in to what it is that I need to. I always go a few days before the retreat anyway, so like that would be not a big deal. But my whole purpose is being able to go from Friday until the following Monday. Like, so Friday, so one full week, and then that Monday, so 3 days in after that. So I'm really just going to tune in to what it is that I need to be doing, and just enjoy it and do it casually, and just have some time for quiet and stillness.
I absolutely
it.
love that. Absolutely
love
love that so much. So much wisdom in there. Like everything happens for a higher purpose has been the way I live for a long time. And you know, if you're meant to be there to have that space and time, and it ties in with the space and time that, you know, you allow other women to feel in your retreats, like so important, right? Rolly, I want to honor you just for that wisdom of allowing people to be, because I see it in retreats I attend where people are rushing in to soothe them when they just need to release. And that's what the retreat's for, right? To let go, just to be and let go of what's not theirs. So thank you for sharing that. And yeah, honoring you. Sorry about there was a bit of a wind noise that triggered the dog in the background. Apologies for that. Sophia.
Thank you. And Joe, just we can't hear anything anyway. So
Oh, you didn't hear the dog?
no, Zoom is very good at blocking that background.
Oh, he was like,
Almost too good.
wow,
Um,
beautiful.
Yeah, no, I just like, just as you did over what you said, just to honor Rolly. And oh my God, Rolly, if I was there at your with you, I'd be coming and unplugging and just being. So want to honor you for taking the time for yourself and also acknowledging, yes, I totally agree that when we, whoever it is, are letting go of emotions, that we just let them be, hold space and let them be, because yes, as soon as you put a hand on the shoulder or anything like that, it blocks it, it stops it. And I see it as a really, as we all probably see it, as a cleansing. It's removing the layers to get to ourself a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And it's such a good thing. For me, Joe, just to answer your question beforehand, like when was the last time that I really felt connected to myself? I I have to say, I'm choosing to remember or allow the memory to come up that at this stage, it's like when I was really meditating a lot. I lived in a meditation center, so we were meditating for hours a day. And quite early, you could wake up quite early because, as we all know, the early morning hours are like the golden hours. They call it the golden hours to meditate because the energy around is a lot quieter, right? Obviously, there's still a lot of energy in the other parts of the world that are awake, but around it's quieter because most people are sleeping, and it's so much more powerful. And so when I was doing that, it's very easy to have that really deep connection. The challenge of returning to the self is like bringing that in, keeping that going into our lives and balancing it with whatever we're doing, whether it's coaching other people, whether it's on tech, but really putting ourselves first and making sure that that happens.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, and being in nature, I could just imagine what Riley was talking about, just being there, totally unplugged, totally off the grid. I was talking to Kim, as you know, our business partner, who we go away every now and then, and I said, I really want to go away, be prepared, like get prepared that we go away where there's nothing. No power, no phones, no internet, no reception, nothing. And just be for however long that the universe aligns it to be. But then the biggest thing is, merging that,
Mm.
bringing that into our lives here,
Mm.
and remembering to return to ourself on a constant basis throughout the day.
Wow. Yeah. So much in that as well, isn't there? And it just reminded me of a conversation I had yesterday with a lady in my mastermind group around, okay, so what can we do consistently? What can we do, like one thing daily that nothing's going to get in the way of, that we can commit to and build that muscle to do it over and over and over. And it doesn't have to be for a long time, but just a time where you can just come home to yourself. And I shared my experience about being on the yoga mat is where I find that peace, where I find that place, where I get into my body, where I breathe, where I feel. And then my practice is to take that feeling into the world. So through the day, when you feel rattled or fearful or scared or not knowing what the next thing is to do, you just tune into that feeling. So it's almost like cultivating that innately inside you so you can return there really quickly. And I know this woman's also a yogi. She goes twice a week after work. She's a very, very high energy businesswoman, but she does take 2 days. And she said, oh, that's easy. I'll just do it on the other days that I finish work, when I finish work. And I'm like, my guidance is like, that's not going to happen. And we talked about, and I said, well, how about this? Because I believe how we start our day is how our day ends. And you already do a practice after work and you make those 2 days happen. And I know how challenging it is for you when you have customers walk in the door at 5 o'clock in the afternoon that you don't say no. Of course you don't. And then and then we get busy at the end of the day, right? We get really busy. We've got dinners and family to organize. How about you just try sitting on your mat, just sitting on your mat. After you take Lenny the dog for a walk, sit on your mat and just sit. Not even with the intention of doing yoga, although I find doing yoga is very therapeutic for my mind. And she said, oh, yeah, that would really work. Because at the beginning of the day, everything's still quiet. Like you said, Sophie, everything's still new and fresh. And it's a discipline that we have to cultivate. So if we know, okay, 10 minutes in the morning, I'm going to put it in even if you have to put in your phone reminder, is when I sit before my day starts and reflect, because her intention was to learn how to feel, to deeply feel. And how many of us avoid that? So repetition, as I say, is the mother of all skill. And it is so important to take that time. And definitely, ladies, if you're watching out there, recommend early mornings or mornings, just to feel and take that into your day. How are we going for time? Oh, still got a few minutes. Yay. This is such a deep conversation. I love it. So I wonder if we could just share with our audience around what's something that gets you back into your center. Like I was just sharing then, that gets me back into my center. When life feels busy or loud, what are some of the things that you turn to bring you back home to yourself? Tywanah's smiling there.
One of the things that brings me back to myself is talking to my ancestors. Their altar is 3 feet from me, and just talking to them like they're still here. Well, I can see them, but most people would think I'm talking to air. But and having that like, what are we doing? What lesson are you trying to teach me? Why do I feel this way? What is going on? Where am I going? Because my favorite word is surrender. And it's because I told them 2 years ago, okay, I give up control. I give up anything. I surrender. Whatever it is that you want me to do in this lifetime is what I'm going to do. I surrender because they know my purpose. I didn't. I know a part of it now, but sitting down, slamming the laptop closed for a moment, putting the phone on silent for a moment, and just having a conversation with them. Like, what is this? And what am I? Lead me, guide me, give me a sign, a signal. What do I do? And that always leads me back home. Because I do get responses. They'll flicker a light. They'll make the phone ring and it's a magic phone call that somehow got through the silence on the ringer. My mother will whisper to get one of my 70 card decks out and pull a card. And it's always right.
Yeah.
And it always leads me back to my purpose.
Mm. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Ask and we shall receive. We forget to ask, don't we?
We do. We do. And that's I was having a temper tantrum one day, some months ago. And all of my ancestors appeared in form in the room, which is not normal. Usually it's one or two of them that'll appear in form when I'm having a temper tantrum, usually my mom and my stepdad. And all of them appeared in form and they're all kind of looking at each other. And I'm having this temper tantrum. And my mother goes, "Did you bother to ask?" And I was like, okay, I feel quite stupid now, so I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna go to bed. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go take my shower now and go to bed because I'm feeling kind of dumb that I did not bother to ask. And my mother's a Leo, and so she makes it so je ne sais quoi, like elegant in the way she speaks. She just goes, "Did you bother to ask?" And they were all looking at me like, "Yeah, had you asked, we'd give you the answer." And so yeah, that's my go-to. I do try to meditate. I do try to journal and stuff like that, but sometimes life gets me. I wake up late because I hate waking. I do not do well with alarms. If an alarm has to wake me up, that starts my day off incomplete.
Agree.
Er,
Me too.
But so sometimes the sun is already up when I get up, but if I do wake up early enough, I will meditate or journal and just ease into my day.
Yeah.
But every morning, I don't care what time I wake up, how late I am for a meeting, what has to be done, whether I appear with makeup on or not, I spend time with them.
Yeah.
And I talk to them and I serve them. And yes, people walk in my apartment and are like, "Why are all these cups of coffee and tea everywhere? What is this?" But it's my way of honoring and thanking them for the journeys that they took to get me here.
Yeah. So beautiful. So beautiful. I had a conversation with my grandson last night about how I connect with my mum, because we had this whole conversation about a cat that had just passed before he left his last destination, and he was so deeply sad. And he knows that my mum's sign to me is a white feather. And that just made everything sound, well, not normal, but it's okay. That's life and that's what happens. And maybe you could look for a feather or something. Yeah. So ancestors thank you for sharing that, Tywanah. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Sophia or Rolly, did you want me to sort of go into the question or?
Yep, Rolly's coming on.
Okay.
So, yeah, and I was okay for you to speak as well, Sophia. So it was, so for me, it's about being able to just find time. No, for me, it's about being able to make time for my.
Love that.
So, the bathtub is my go-to if I'm able to. That sometimes that's not always practical. So, but like if I can, then it's a great big huge long time in the tub. So just soaking in the tub, and just doing nothing. So whether it is, so sometimes I'll go in. Oh, echo happening. So
Reverberation.
sometimes I'll go and read. We've got two sacred ewes around. So, and there. Oh. And so, yeah, so going to soak in the tub. So if I can, just being in there for however long that I need to be in there. And other times I'm just in the tub just for a short period of time or whatever. But if that's not available to me, the summertime, it's about being able to just be outside. And just being able to like walk in my bare feet. But as my grandson has noticed, it's like, it's cold out here this morning, Nookum. And I'm like, yeah, it is. So we're moving into that fall weather. And so, but it's being able to just be outside, being able to just be connected. So even if it happens to be that we are in Mattawa for the week and for the 10 days and it's raining the whole time, we would like a little bit of sunshine so that we can keep the solar power going. But like if it is raining the whole time, like just being able to like right now, listening to the rain hit the roof is what it is that I'm listening to right now. Out there, it will be a tin roof that we get to listen to it echo. And so like it's a beautiful sound. And then you've got the trees that surround it. So then it kind of echoes back to you. So you've got like this double echo. But just being able to be in nature, being able to, and again, when those things don't happen, just being able to be indoors, but listening to the sounds, listening to what it is that's happening, just being able to focus in on my breath and just noticing what it is that's going on. Those things always bring me back to self. And so one of the things that when I first started with meditating, it's like, I can't meditate. I can't sit still. I'm just too busy. My mind is racing. Keeping busy allows my mind to like, I can't do two things at once. So then my brain can't get me into whatever else that I need to. So being able to sit still and sit quiet was something that was really challenging. And so then when I allowed myself to know that my way of meditating meant that my foot was still going to be moving, or that I was going to be shifting and turning, or that I was going to be picking up my fingernails, or that I was going to be doing whatever it is that I needed to do to allow myself to stay in that space, I can now stay still and stay quiet. And when my mind starts to go off and my monkey mind starts to carry on, then I'm able to say thanks. And I'll come back to it a little later. But when I first started, that wasn't something that was available to me. So I needed to remind myself that whatever it is that it looks like for you, it's just about being still. It's about being quiet. It's about just kind of slowing things down. And if your mind is still wandering, allow it to wander. If you need to like write down all of those thoughts, then write down all those thoughts, whatever it is that you need to be doing. So when if you're listening to this and you're like, yeah, I can't meditate, so forget it. Like you guys keep talking about tuning in and meditating. So if this is something that you are hearing, then just slow it down. Just slow it down and allow yourself to just be in this space. But no matter where you are, you always bring your breath with you. So being able to notice, like, am I breathing from the upper part of my chest, or with this cold, am I staying up in this space, or am I breathing in from my diaphragm, and just noticing where is my breath and what is it that's going on, and just allowing myself to just be in this moment and start with 30 seconds, then extend it. And whatever it is that looks like, it does not have to be for hours on end. You don't have to be a monk, and you don't have to follow their timeline to be able to do meditation. And one of the other things that a friend of mine happened to mention the one day when I was in a session with her is that she reminded people that when people are like, oh, life is just too busy and I can't slow down, and it's like, we all have to pee. So when you're sitting there having to pee, then just take a few deep breaths and just stay there for an extra breath longer. And so that is meditating. That is allowing yourself to be able to slow down. And so just being in that stall or in the bathroom or wherever it is that you are, just slow it down by just taking that one extra breath.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So many people, and I myself used to struggle with just being still and meditating. I just couldn't see the point. There was too many things I could be doing. And it's a practice as well, right? And it doesn't matter how you practice. Just being in the garden with your hands in the soil is meditation for me. Walking in nature is meditation for me. It's just doing that one presence, right? with whatever you're doing. So thank you for sharing that, Rolly. I think a lot of people can relate to that. Or you get thrown in the deep end, which is what Sophia and I've done also, has been in a meditation center and just having just wiggling and all. Or chanting. I love the chanting. That was the way to get me up there. Yeah. Sophia?
Ditto to everything that everyone said, and following on from what Rolly's saying, yes, absolutely, breathing is very, very essential. A practice that I do, and I have to be honest, not enough of, because I keep forgetting or whatever. I'm allowing myself, but a practice that I learned back when I was meditating is called traffic control. And that is stopping wherever it is, even if it means that you've got to go to the toilet, which we all do. For me, it's when I finish one thing, when I finish the doing, before I start the next doing, just stopping for 30 seconds, for 60 seconds, and even for 10 seconds, and breathing and reconnecting to that inner self. And what I find is that's actually when we have that practice frequently throughout the day, it's like you've got the reins of this wild horse and you've got control of it. And it's actually so much more powerful than trying to sit at the end of the day for half an hour or an hour, because you give up. Your brain's going tuk, 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 or your mind. But when we stop throughout the day, it's like you're bringing those reins in. And then at the end, if you do want to sit for longer meditation, it's quite easy. So that is a practice that I have done quite often. And now it's a reminder. So thank you for this. And the other thing is similar to Rolly's bath. Love the bath. I also get to the bath whenever I can. But if I can't, and I'm really feeling overwhelmed with all the energy that's going on around the place, is I go out and ground. I have hugging trees, like trees that I go and hug, or if I can, I will take off my shoes. Because of the body that I have, I need to be in shoes with orthotics all the time, which are not conducive for grounding. I sit on a grounding mat, but if I need to, I will go out, take off my shoes, and I will put my feet on the earth and draw up that energy, or go hug a tree and connect with the energy of that tree and let it flow through me. And you really can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
You really can feel it. So I have a few grounding trees around the place, depending on where, what, and if sometimes I just, just say, I got to get out of here. And I go to my grounding tree and I take my shoes off and I just breathe and connect. So
Love that. I love
something.
that. I just came
And
to
have a
me
bath.
and have a bath. Yeah, baths
Have
are
a
just
bath full of magnesium salts.
yes, beautiful,
Yes,
beautiful,
yes,
beautiful.
yes.
Perfect
Love
way
it.
to release and restore and reset all of those. And sometimes guided meditations help too. And I know that both Sophia and I have some guided meditations to help ground you. And one of mine is a self-love that just came to me, which is really nice to come back home to. And they're only short, like they're 8-9 minutes, where you can just plug in during the day. So if anyone would like to access to those, please let us know. Happy to share that. But before we close, I actually did want to have a session today around reflection and journaling. So I have some questions that I will pop into our group chat that you might want to use today because of the full moon energy, and help you to go deeper with what you want to let go of firstly, but also what you want to call in. And so I'll just share them, but I'll write them also into the chat. But if my inner self could speak to me right now, what would she say? What would she say? That's the first one. Second one, the part of me that's been waiting to come home is. second one. And the third one is to honor my wisdom, my inner wisdom, I will. What will you do? So take a few minutes if you can make, like Rolly said, make the time, because it's a choice, right? Like I hear so much, I haven't got time, I haven't got time. And I explained yesterday in my class, there's a difference between having time and having capacity. For the things that you want to make happen, you make happen, because that's your time for you. So take some time or make some time to reflect on those questions, those journal and see what comes through. I mean, your inner guidance will just flow. It's so amazing when you have those prompts and you can just let it flow, to let it go, let it flow, to let it grow. Yeah. So I want to thank you and honor you all for being with us today. All this beautiful grandma wisdom coming through. It's been gorgeous. And auntie wisdom. Sophia, I see you as an auntie with so much wisdom and being in this space and sharing so vulnerable. So hand on heart, take one more deep breath. And exhaling slowly. And that is how you return to self, to your truth, your wisdom, your presence, your essence, your feminine energy. It's always in you. But sometimes we just get caught up and a little bit lost, but it only takes a moment to come back home. You never ever truly lose her. She's there. She just wants to be remembered. So honor her and honor whatever's next for you. And as we close today, let's repeat after me. I return to myself with love. I trust
love.
I return to myself with love.
I trust the wisdom within me.
I trust the wisdom within me.
I am whole.
I am whole.
Beautiful. Thank you, ladies. And thank you for being part of this sacred space and sacred you. And it's so, so important, isn't it, to come together and have these conversations. So may you all continue to take this calm into your day or your night, nighttime for Rolly, and this connection, so that we can move together forward easily, gracefully, effortlessly. So go gently and always remember to return to yourself. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jo.
Thank you, Jo.
Thank you, Jo, for facilitating such a wonderful wisdom circle. It's been my honour and pleasure of being. And thank you for Tywanah and Rolly for joining us from the other side of the world. And yes, it's getting late for you both, so I want to acknowledge that. And for everyone else who's watching live, because we do have a couple of people watching, do click on the links that are now being put below this video everywhere. Reach out to these amazing women, and also come and join us at Sacred You, which is just sacredyou.love. You can join us for free in the village. There's so much available. All these beautiful women are guides in different formats. Tywanah hosts the beautiful Psychic Essence Collective, and also Sacred Divination, which is coming up in a couple of days. Rolly is the Moon Medicine woman with the Moon Medicine Circle. And of course, our beautiful Jo, who will be back with another Wisdom Circle very, very soon. So thank you. It's been an honor to be here, I said, and an honor to host it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And oh, that's why I can't do anything. Sorry.